Dane, is my ball on the wrong side?
No, it's hanging just a little bit to the left. Well, I guess it'd be your right, my left.
Well, it always hangs to the left a little bit.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Okay. I didn't know if it's like the earring thing. Like if you put on one side, you're like...
I'm not sure that's how that works.
One of those types of elves.
You could, if in doubt, you could always just push it straight back.
And nothing's wrong with that if you're that type of elf. Just saying. I don't want to send the mixed signals. Don't want to get a lot of hearts broke over this holiday season because this is the Festivus for the rest of us.
It is.
Doesn't matter if you're a terrorist
like us,
whether or not you're a foreshadower like us, whether or not you're just no down good for nothing beatnik.
Like
most of us. Most of us, yes. Most of us. So anyway, Dane, in light of this festive season, do you want to switch it up a little bit today?
I think the people like a little change of pace every now and then, and they, we want to get in the holiday spirit.
We don't want to be all doom and gloom here at the Weapons of Meme Destruction podcast.
That's
what
right.
We're going to do today is we're actually going to have a nice little conversation about what we're thankful for that transpired.
It's a year in review. Kind of, this is kind of like the WMD turducken here. We got a year in review shoved inside of what we're thankful for, shoved inside of I forgot what the third thing is.
Careful what you're shoving into what, all right?
I don't know what the third thing is, but there's stuff shoved in other stuff.
I can't help but feel like this is on the wrong side. Anyway, so you want to jump into the episode of all thankfulness and thankfulness, happy, thankful?
Let's do it and spread plenty of holiday cheer.
Oh yeah, spread it all over.
Welcome to Weapons. Should we leave it in?
Yeah, fuck it. It's Christmas, goddammit. We're spreading some cheer. You should have been there for it. I mean, you guys missed it because of that whole intro bullcrap, but that what you just missed was gold. You'll never see it ever.
Welcome to Weapons of Meme Destruction Podcast, episode 126, which can be found at wmdpodcast.com/126. You can get the audio only on any podcast catcher. Just search Weapons of Meme Destruction. You can get the video on YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. Again, just search Weapons of Meme Destruction. You can link up with us on our other socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and FLOTE. And then if you subscribe, which you can find over at wmdpodcast.com at $5 a month, you can join the official Sane Space, the private invite-only Facebook page, where you can talk to us, share stories, share memes, suggest show topics, et cetera, et cetera. And with that being said, I think those are all the places you can and join that email list, because no matter where we get nuked from, you'll always be able to find us there.
You forgot one other place, Dane.
What did I forget?
In their hearts.
I knew it. I knew he was going there, but I wanted to let him do it because that was one of my many gifts to him for Christmas this year.
Oh, yes. There's plenty of presents under this tree.
So, as you're hearing this, it's probably a couple days after Christmas, maybe more than a couple, depending on how fast our lazy audio and video guys get it out after the
our little worker
season.
Elves, shall we say. And then probably most of you are trying to bear grit and bear most of the, what are they calling this? It's like El Nino, but like with snow. And it's wiping.
It's the cyclone bomb shit.
Sweeping across the nation.
It's even going to make Florida participate in winter this year. I think we're supposed to get into the 30s.
We're going to have to put on like a hoodie with you guys.
Usually Florida's like, nah, we ain't about that winter stuff, and it stays a balmy 70 degrees all year long. But I think we're supposed to get down into the 30s for a couple days.
Like you call back home, they're like, yeah, it's the fourth straight day that we haven't seen the sun, and the high today is -14, and the low is, a witch's tit. And then we're like, yeah, we totally get it. Like last week, it was like 65, and I caught like a slight chill. It was gross. Like winter sucks for all of us.
Now, unless I'm misremembering, I don't think we have a weather segment on WMD podcast. So should we?
We don't have a meteorologist.
Should we get to the holiday cheer?
If we did have a meteorologist, I know which one we should have got.
Which one? Is that like Russian one who like strips while she's doing it?
Oh, close second. I was going to go with Yanette Garcia pre-pregnancy, but we wouldn't have had the problem getting the numbers and the viewers that we would have by now.
That's for sure. We would be much bigger if we had a meteorologist
in many different
like
ways. Yes.
I knew as soon as I said it, I'm like, poor choice of words. Poor choice of words. David.
Anyway, you can't softball him in there like that. Anyway.
So it is a couple days after Christmas as you're seeing this, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, I believe Hanukkah will be over by then.
Well, see, we're a family that doesn't open our Christmas presents on Christmas Eve. We wait until at least Christmas Day or after to open our Christmas presents.
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing it this way.
Whatever you happen to be celebrating this holiday season,
Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
We send you tidings of good cheer. And
tidings of comfort and joy.
And in that spirit, we would like to just do a little quick 2022 year in review wrapped inside of the things that we're happy about that we brought out of 2022, because David and I joke about it a lot. Sometimes our subject matter, well, more than sometimes, the rule rather than the exception is that our subject matter is not too cheery on this here podcast.
It's a little bleak.
But we choose happiness during the holiday season.
We choose Fancy Feast.
So, with that being said, in no particular order, it might be a little chronological here and there, but sometimes we'll jump in and out. Just going to go through some of the highlights of this last year. Let's kick it off with, if you remember all the way back into the 70s, we had an episode where we talked about 250 plus experts who signed, experts in veterinary science. And
I thought we were literally going back to like 1970.
No.
Oh, okay.
They wrote an article once for some sort of non-scientific publication, whatever. These 250 experts wrote an open letter, if you'll recall, at the beginning of this year, to Spotify saying, you need to kick Joe Rogan out because he's talking about impermissible things on his podcast and he needs to be canceled. And we're thankful that Spotify did not take these experts up on that. And they gave them the metaphorical finger and let Joe continue to do his thing. And we're happy about that.
Yep. They stood up. They picked themselves up by the jingle bells and they said, no, we're standing up for the right thing. Stand up for Papa Joe and the biggest podcast this side of the Mississippi.
If you haven't done so already, get out your clicker and see how many Christmas puns David can drop throughout this episode.
I'm going to drive this.
I think he's already 5 deep, but he's doing pretty good.
Oh, that's 2 more than I've ever been. So,
all right. So moving on, we are also very happy that we have not to date, as you can see us sitting here, we have not been black-bagged off the face of the earth because, as you'll recall from early February, when the DHS released a bulletin redefining what it means to be a terrorist, if you'll remember, that definition was so broad that it's pretty much everybody. And if it's pretty much everybody, it's definitely your humble co-host here.
So all the way down
we're happy to still be enjoying freedom.
Like, whoever doesn't take 3 left turns on a Tuesday is a terrorist.
Is definitely a terrorist.
Whoever doesn't signal before pulling into traffic. It got pretty low. But yes, albeit us being defined as yet another thing that's not so nice, terrorism, we're happy that we can spread some holiday cheer still and then some doom and gloom. The only bombs that we drop here at the Weapons of Main Destruction podcast are truth bombs.
Boom. Dynamite.
Got it. I knew there was something in there.
Just keep talking. It'll flow out eventually.
There's a stocking stuffer somewhere in there. Number 76. Are you going to give me a half? We'll give a half. 6.5.
Hanging around in February for a little bit longer, if you'll remember, that's when the Russian invasion started into Ukraine. And although our sympathies from day one have gone out to the innocent civilians caught in the crossfire of all that, we are especially happy as two self-appointed representatives of mankind to report and be able to sit here today and tell you that nuclear winter has not kicked off, despite the West's best efforts to provoke Russia into doing just that. We are glad that this war hasn't got any worse than it already is, and that an exchange of nuclear weapons has not happened yet. But hold your breath on that, folks. The American regime is
nope,
not
we
one
aren't
to let
going
this
there today,
year go
Dane.
out without a bang.
We're not going there today.
Oh yes,
Dane.
it's happy. So we're not melting right now.
So we're not in nuclear winter, albeit winter is going nuclear on most of the country right now. How do you like that? How do you like that for a second?
I like
it's
that turn of
colder than
phrase.
the North Pole up around the contiguous United States, right?
Right.
It's always cold in Alaska. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
I think the only state that's avoiding this shit is like Hawaii. But they already had their... Was it this year that they had their scare with the nuclear warning that went off? And they all thought they were getting nuked? Shit.
That's new to me.
Shouldn't have brought that up.
You shouldn't have, because that doesn't sound like something we'd be happy about.
No. But that's all I was saying. They have their own burdens to bear. They don't need winter. That's all I was saying.
Fair enough. They got sharks.
Good for you guys.
Sharknado.
How do you guys celebrate this Festivus out in Hawaii, by the way? I feel like they're the forgotten state.
Don't they do don't they have a whole Mele Kamiti
You were looking...
Don't they have that?
Maybe.
Isn't that their thing?
I hope so, because it sounds really a certain way.
A couple syllables in the wrong place, and that could end up poorly.
And then we're going right back on that terrorist list if you say too many more. So pause, pump the brakes on that one.
Moving on, skipping ahead a couple months to May. If you'll remember, Biden tried to appoint Nina, what's her name, David?
What?
Nina Janko, what? Come on, you loved saying her name. You don't remember this lady's name? It's good. That's good. She's completely unmemorable.
What was her name?
Nina Jankowicz, and you called her Janko what?
Jingle tits? Jingle balls?
No, we're going, again, spreading cheer. We're not going to be mean to Nina. We did enough all the way back in May.
Sorry.
Anyway, Biden appointed her to be the head of his new agency under the Department of Homeland Security, called the Disinformation Governance Board. You guys remember that? Man, it's 2022 seems long now.
I thought it was called the Ministry of Truth.
Yeah, same thing. They just had to, they had to move some words around so that it wasn't too Orwellian.
They had to go, the ministry that distributes truth.
They had to throw you off the scent a little bit.
Right. They can't just knock you over the head with it.
Right.
Bless their hearts.
But for you longtime listeners, at least since May of this year, will remember it was your humble co-host here and us alone in calling out this Disinformation Governance Board that got it destroyed within 2 weeks. They decided to back off and not do it. We cheersed. We had a good time.
That is true. We did take credit.
It is all of us. If we are about nothing here on this podcast, it is about doing favors to all of mankind.
We're here
unsolicited or not.
We're here for you. We are out here blood, sweat, and tears for you. We're like Jerry Maguire. All right? You don't know what it's like to be us out here for you as an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that we'll never fully tell you about, okay?
Is that a Jerry Maguire quote?
Help me help you.
That part is, yes.
Yeah, see? See?
Got to finish the quote.
Sorry. You didn't know you're getting a Christmas theater play thingamajig.
In no particular order, because we got good hits coming out of our home state of Florida all year long. David and I are extremely happy to be still residing in the sanest state in America. Whether it be our Surgeon General of the state of Florida, Dr. Latipo, and the Florida Department of Health, warning about the potential
Easy.
risks of, well,
Easy.
maybe we just wouldn't put it on YouTube. Okay, I won't say it,
We
so this can
can't
go on
say it.
YouTube.
Warnings of certain things.
Yes, Dr. Latipo had things to say about stuff that we can't talk about because
But
reasons. And we're happy to be living in a state that doesn't force those things and stuff that we're not allowed to talk about because of reasons. We're happy to be living in that state and to have a state surgeon general who is at least still believing in the long dead, apparently, concept of informed consent and letting patients understand what they're deciding on before they make their medical decisions. In addition to Florida also, if you'll recall, putting out the basically the guidance to say maybe you shouldn't chop off kids' parts and feed them hormones before the age of so-and-so because they're feeling a little bit different about what they want to identify as. All that sanity flowing from Florida, the sanest state in America.
It's crazy that you can say that in 2022. If you travel back to 2010 to be like, what are you even talking about? Anyway, my whole shtick on this is that everybody loves a comeback story. And we used to, not that kind, Dane. This isn't Pornhub. This is a comeback story where Florida used to be Florida man. You know, my favorite story, guy high on meth climbs a traffic light and shits on oncoming traffic.
It is
my
at least
favorite.
the 20th time David has dropped that story on
I
this
don't
podcast.
want it to be forgotten. Man eats another man's face. Man gets caught having sex with an alligator. I can keep going.
Just a couple days ago, a bunch of dominatrixes, I don't know if you saw this.
How do you say that appropriate?
Dominatrix?
Dominic.
Anyway, 3 of them showed up to a city council meeting in Broward County, full latex, couldn't see their face or anything, just got their mouth poking out. And anyway, they addressed the Fort Lauderdale City Commission saying that you should appropriate $1 million to building us a dominatrix dungeon so that people that are into BDSM can, get their freak on public funds. So Florida stays undefeated. But in some cases, they are very, very sane.
And speaking of a red light district, it's like Florida is the new Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer story. I love it.
Yeah.
We were the bastard child, and now you depend on us.
That's
for
right.
Sanity.
For sanity.
How about that?
That's right.
Number 8.
Next, again, no particular order. We are happy to still, at least as we sit here today, be able to eat steak. And despite the WEF wanting to do the exact opposite, we are not eating bugs.
Bug burgers.
So we are happy about that.
Oh, that could be a nice little spin-off to Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Bug burgers.
It can, but we can't talk about Bob's Burgers because that'll probably be some sort of copyright infringement. So
you can't.
We just knew a guy named Bob once who made burgers. I don't know. I'm bullshitting you.
For God's sake, people.
I'm just saying.
It's 2022, almost 3.
We're not allowed to say anything anymore.
Just that'd be an interesting podcast. Just log on and
hi. We're here to not get canceled.
To sit here and smile for fucking 30 minutes. That's what it's going to be.
So, speaking of not getting canceled, the next thing that we're happy about is, I don't know if you recall this, but the world's most premier scientist, Joseph R. Biden, declared a certain thing that we're not allowed to talk about over this year. And we're happy about that, right? That's something we can all be happy about.
Well, thank God.
That thing that shall not be named is over.
Well, It was a real, that
according
thing
to him.
Was a real rascal for most of us. A real thorn in the side of a lot of people. And a real prick in the arm. Or is that close enough? For some people. Anyway.
Might be too close. You're tiptoeing that line, sir.
I do tread the red line. That dotted red line. Right next to Santa Claus. Anywho. It's nice to have that weight off our shoulders and back on our bellies like jolly old Saint Nick.
Nicely done. Anyway, sticking on the Joe Biden theme here, David and I are happy to still have a roof over our head and food on our kitchen tables, despite Joe's wondrous leadership in driving inflation damn near 10% earlier this year. Fortunately, it has started to come back down recently, but we're just happy that we didn't go broke and wind up under a Miami bridge to have our faces bit off by a guy hopped up on bath salts because we couldn't afford a house anymore.
That guy would have been me.
We're happy about that.
I would have gone, it would have taken half a day of homelessness before I smoked a bath salt. And I just sunk my canines. I just sunk my canines into the first face I saw. And usually that's you. So, be digging out my freaking molars from your ear hole. But anywho, I'm glad that none of that happened. None of that had to happen. Granted,
we made it through, barely.
Granted, maybe. The Christmas shopping was a bit much this year, but hey, you know what? 'Tis the season. 'Tis the season to give and receive. You know, give and receive. I'll leave it at that.
And probably, if not one of the biggest stories of the year, and we have covered it from probably 20 different angles since it happened. We are happy. Some may not be. This is not a very Christmassy spirit thing for the purple hairs. We are happy for Elon's takeover of Twitter and the
drum roll, please.
Completely driving insane of the blue checks over there.
Gnashing of teeth
that his takeover has created. We love it. We love it. It's so glorious in so many ways. Really gives humanity hope.
A bit pithy, a little rubbing it in their face. Oh, I fucked up my pen thing. But anyway, yes, they doth protest too loudly about that particular application being removed from their control, albeit it wasn't under their control. But again, he gifted Twitter back to the people, back to free speech, back to the constitutional rights that we're all fighting for every day, which we shouldn't have to. You know, it is what it is. Still.
It is what it is.
Anyway,
and the last, I guess, news item before we have a couple personal things to be happy about is actually something that you may remember me saying a couple weeks ago. Probably, I don't know, what is this? Probably episode 123, 124. I made a prediction that SBF would never face criminal charges. That's Sam Bankman-Fried, the FTX scandal, et cetera, et cetera. And it does appear, he was arrested in the Bahamas. And if he hasn't already been, he is scheduled for extradition to the United States. No, yeah, he was extradited.
By the time you're saying this, he should be
extradited. Right, because he went through arraignment. And the reason I know that is because he's already posted bail. So what we're thankful for before I slide something in there to get a dig back at the system, because although he was arrested and at least for now is allegedly going to face criminal charges, which I didn't think was going to happen. I will say that I am thankful that for all of the billions that he stole, that he is going to face criminal charges, assuming he does. However, one wonders, $250 million in bail. And for those of you who don't know, you actually only have to post 10% of that. So he had to come out of pocket $25 million. Where do you think that money came from? You think that was his?
This is supposed to be
money.
Happy.
It is. I'm happy that he's been arrested. I'm happy at least.
Okay.
I'm happy. Well, I mean, when you defraud people out of
literally
billions
of people that he fucked over, yes.
Yes, I'm happy for at least a semblance of justice. Whether that's actually fully realized, that remains to be seen. But the fact that he got out, the fact that they let him out, period, gave him any bail. And then the fact that bail was probably, he had that money because of fraud anyway. Let's just say that my view of whether or not justice will be served is tempered. But I'm staying glass half full because I'm in the holiday spirit.
Well, all I'll say on the
glass half full of milk
is he's
like Santa.
Why not eggnog?
Whatever. I just wanted to get a Christmas party.
Okay, good for you. Thanks for.
You're gonna have them all.
Bless your little heart.
I'm trying.
Glad to see the Christmas spirit's finally taking you over.
I'm trying.
All I'll say is that he's harder to catch than one of Santa's helpers. Tell you what. And I wonder whose naughty list he's going to show up on this year. Probably everybody's.
Yeah, probably everybody's. Definitely on ours as it's
And I know one list, Hillary looking your way, that you don't want to be on that naughty list.
Yes.
A lump of coal is the last of his worries.
Apparently, he's been released to the custody of his parents.
We might have to change one of the segments of our podcast.
Yeah.
If you get my drift.
Exactly.
If you know, you know.
That's a quick year in review of 2022. Some of those stories might make it seem like the year was a little bit long. When I look back at some of those, I was like, damn, this year really dragged on.
But it doesn't feel like that. It feels like that this year happened like...
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff was packed.
Yeah, I know.
So those are the big stories.
dilation.
And just to close it out before, we talk about the real number one thing that we're most happy for, a couple production level things that we're happy about. We are happy that we added the video component this year, right?
We are.
Are you happy about that? Listener,
Hopefully.
viewer, now viewer. We're hope that you're happy to see us every week.
Maybe we should have kept our faces hidden. Just blurred them out.
Maybe.
Might have been more suitable.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, we're happy to...
If for no other reason than like facial recognition technology.
That as well. Yeah, of course.
Ship has sailed on that one, buddy.
Anywho, but yeah.
And
for the video.
The recent development in the last probably couple months, if you've been around that long, you know that we've been having some dust ups with the YouTubes, which is the primary culprit for why, because we've had many TikTok pages nuked at this point, but we didn't want to lose YouTube, and that's why we can't say the things that we weren't saying earlier and we aren't going to say now. But we are thankful to at least still, as we sit here today, have our YouTube page.
Yes, thank you, YouTube. And actually, again, to give them credit, we had a dispute not too long ago, and YouTube came to an agreement with us and took away a strike. So we only have one strike on YouTube. We're basically newborns.
Pretty much.
Born again Christians on YouTube.
So, we're still happy to have our full complement of platforms at this point. And to close it out, obviously, you already knew that this was coming. Our number one thing that we are most happy for, in the absolute most on the nose possible way we could say it, is you. Dear listener, dear viewer, thank you for a year of support. Thank you for getting us over that hump. Remember, we wanted as many subscribers on YouTube as we had videos out. We crossed that threshold this year.
Yeah.
So we're happy about that.
We haven't checked on our Australian numbers yet. But
we have not recently.
You blokes down under, thank you too. We're very appreciative of you.
We've had a good year of growth on multiple platforms. And it's thanks to you. It's thanks to you, not only for those of you that do like, subscribe, and share, but even if all you do is listen to an episode and go talk with your buddy or whatever, go to the bar and have a beer and say, these two crazy fuckers, they talked about X, Y, or Z, and informative, but also funny. We like them. You should check them out. Just name dropping us every now and then. That's what we thank you for.
Grassroots kind of stuff.
We love you.
Love you.
So, with that being said, we will see you next year.
No.
For a...
That is true.
Yeah, it's going to be 2023 the next time they see us, bro. I know. Time flies when you party naked.
We're getting old, Dane.
And we are. A whole nother year. So, we will see you on the other side of the new year. We will see you in 2023. We hope that it is less insane than 2022 was. I think 2022 was an improvement over 21, right?
Insane. Just be insane in the membrane.
Yeah.
Where you can jive with it. You can groove with it. Yeah. Not insane lock yourselves in your house and only eat bug stuffs.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in my foggy memory of the last couple years, I think that 2022 was a little bit better than 21.
It was an improvement.
And we hope that trend continues for 23, not only for us, but also for you. And we'll see you on the other side.
There you go. And as always, stay safe, be merry, but most importantly, stay free.